Hi, this is Chase, and we're Coin, and we're hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
New single just dropped, Growing Pains. You guys went into the studio with Butch Walker on this one. What was that like going into the studio and creating this track with Butch?
It was good. No, it was a really good process. We actually wrote that song a long time ago, or like started it, I guess. And yeah, Butch kind of like heard the demo and like its like raw form and like finished it. And like we had been working on it for honestly like 2.5 years. Wow. And like in like one day he was just like moved like two things around, was just like, I think it's done. We're like, how did you do that? It's like, so sometimes it just takes the right person to crack the code. Yeah. But yeah, it was honestly he's so talented and just understands how like big picture really well. Yeah.
So was that a track that you guys have been actually not only written but like actually trying to get it out since for the last 2 years?
We write a lot of songs. We like make a lot of songs and like, but no, I don't, all of them we write all of them with the intention of putting them out, but I think that one's just like, as they come, they come. And that one just like, we heard it and it was just like, when it was finished, we're like, okay, that seems like an honest thing for us to put out. Right. Yeah.
So this is a one-off from the sophomore album. So is it safe to say that this might be an introduction to a third record? Or you guys are kind of testing the waters right now?
Totally. Yeah, I think it will be. We are going to plan to release songs as they come, kind of just what Chase was saying. So we've got a bunch of songs that we've written and have kind of, recorded demos of. So I think it's just kind of wrangling all of those together and figuring out which one comes next.
Right. Now you guys, the first album, you guys worked with Jay Joyce on that. Yeah. Sophomore album, not sure who you guys worked with actually.
We did a lot with Zachary Dyke, okay. Bass player extraordinaire. He also had an album that he produced, came out today actually, Liza Ann, Fine But Dying. It's a big album. And then we did a lot ourselves, and then we also worked with Tim Pagnotta.
Oh, man. I'm trying to get Sugar Cult to come back, and it's not working.
No, like definitely not bringing Sugar Cult.
I hate that he's so good with songwriting.
Henry Rollins like burned Sugar Cult really bad in his book, so I don't think they're not coming back.
That was it for Tim.
Yeah.
But.
Jeez. Well, I mean, he's a cool dude, but I need Sugar Cult back regardless. So, you've experienced so many different producers over the years. Which one kind of has stuck out to you guys the most, or mainly like challenged you guys the most when you guys were in the studio?
I think it might have initially just been Jay, because we'd never worked with a producer before, and he kind of acted as the grandfather of the first album and just kind of put all these weird pieces together.
1,000 years old or something.
Yeah, maybe a uncle, maybe.
There you go.
He's not so old, but he definitely helped us figure out how to work and how to get ideas out, even if they weren't all cohesive, because our first album felt a little bit sporadic stylistically, but he was someone that kind of did the over-the-shoulder thing really well and kind of was able to help us hone in what we already had.
Right.
And now we're a little more confident, so yeah.
Right. Now, I know for the sophomore record, you guys kind of split the record when creating it. Half of it was with songwriters, the other half was with just the band in a cabin. How did you guys feel about that writing process or that creative process for that record? And is it something that you guys might want to like consider again?
I think we're kind of like, I don't know. There was a good experience that like created like this like diverse thing, but like we're almost like full-time cabin now, I think, possibly, because we're just like, we're very internal with just like the few collaborators that we like to work with. Right. We're so much in the like the dating phase anymore. So I think we figured out what we kind of want to do and just being confident in that for the first time since we started the band, honestly. Right. Yeah.
And since starting the band, like how do you guys feel the writing process or the way that you guys create your music has evolved since 2012?
I think it's interesting. We definitely, when we first started, were just playing music together in a room, and then it evolved where Joe and Chase were spending a lot of time doing, co-writes and stuff like that. And then now we've kind of come back to a place, like Chase was saying, where we have a few people that we're really confident, collaborating with, that help us get the best ideas out and understand the sound of the band and don't want to, go too far from that. So I think it's almost brought us back to where we started, which is not squeezing things as tightly.
Right.
And
squeezing everything.
And that's okay. I mean, we all have done that, and I think there was a lot of overthought for like 2 years.
Yeah, that was me as well.
And we've kind of snapped out of it now, and we're just having fun, and the four of us work together.
Right.
Which is really cool.
Now, as a producer, like, how do you feel like the evolution has been with the band, especially because you guys are now seeing yourselves writing more on the road because you guys have been touring a lot more lately?
I mean, I would say the same thing that Ryan just said. We've kind of had that phase of overthinking, and now it's just, I don't know, much more intuitive.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, we don't really like question what we're doing as
It
much.
just happens.
Yeah.
So this band is all about just like the natural vibe, like, you know, going with the flow.
Historically 5 years historically
Guys are ancient.
from like day one, yeah, that was what it was about. And then like when we got to like year 2, we were like, let's second guess everything and like rethink who we are and like let's like rebirth ourselves.
Right.
And now it's like we're like being born again. What a crazy analogy. Being born again from where we started. So
Right.
yeah, it's like back to the roots, man. Yeah.
Now for Joe, like with for Joe, with all the co-writes that you guys did for that last album, what did you get? What did you learn from collaborating with other writers?
It's a very vulnerable place to be in. It's like speed dating. You have to meet somebody in 10 minutes, get to know who they are and how they do things, how they write a song, like what their process is, you know. And then you just have to kind of like go from there and like try to gel. I think that's what Chase was saying like a couple minutes ago is like we have our people now. We've written with so many people here in Nashville, New York, and all these places, and we've done it so much that now we know the people that we love writing with and that we've become very close friends with, and we can be extremely vulnerable around. Because with the intuition and with not squeezing things anymore, we're being way more real in our lyrics and our writing, and it can be like really hard to be vulnerable around people like with stuff you're going through or experiencing, but with those people that we've become close with, it's nice because we're comfortable writing that stuff around them and with them. So it's kind of just, it's different. It's not a new thing anymore.
Right.
But it's fun. It's not, you know.
How were you able to get vulnerable those first couple times with someone new?
He's like, yeah, dude, I wouldn't go that far.
What say that question?
How were you able to open up to these people and, you know, get vulnerable with, you know, the stories you had to tell?
Sometimes you're not. Yeah. I think you kind of know within the first 20 minutes what kind of song you're gonna make, or if you're not gonna be creative today. And then sometimes you're really surprised and you find like a diamond in the rough and someone you didn't think was gonna contribute something to your story. You know.
I remember one of the first times that it happened, we were with Emily Warren, and we were in New York at that little studio that we borrowed, and she was just like forcing stuff out of us. She's just like,
what's happening in
what's
going on in your life?
Just tell me. And we're like, and she's like, come on, dude, tell me. We're like, and then she just forced it out of us. We're like,
and then we wrote an album that didn't make the album, and I was like, or made a song that didn't make the album. I was like, that song is too serious, too vulnerable. Like, I was like, I don't want to talk about that.
but it like felt, you know.
But it was good though. It was cathartic. And that's how great songs are made. You know, they're real songs. Yeah.
Now, with the first 2 records, is it possible to describe to me what, you know, who you guys are on record 1 and who you guys are on record 2 and who you guys might be on record 3? Is that obvious?
I don't think it's. I mean, I think in a way it is obvious just by the natural progression of life, as cheesy as that might sound, because we're just getting older. We started this band when we were 19, 20. So the first record was just all the songs that the guys had written in college and that we had played together at these shows in Nashville and these small clubs. And we were basically just testing the waters. It felt like a whole season of testing the waters. Right. And then the second album was a little more confident and a little bit more existential lyrically for Chase. And I think that was really cool. And then now, like we all have kind of said here, we're just going back to where we started, which is just being real and being genuine. I think there's a lyrical thing and then there's a musical thing. I think Chase could maybe speak more to that, but
it's both. Yeah, I think it's both things. And it's like with the first album, it was like songs we had up to this date, and that was cool. And like we didn't really think about it, especially with like the very first EP or the first 2 EPs we made. We were like, these are songs we made in this like 2-month period. Like here it is, like we're done. Right. And that's kind of what we just did for like this new like batch of songs. We were like, there's like 2 months where we were like heavily inspired, and we're like, okay, that's an album, you know, that's a season of our life. And like, whereas like maybe for album 2, like we made like songs over the course of like a year and like disappeared from like the public eye for a second. Right. And we were like, okay, like, you know, what do we want to say? Whereas like now I think we just kind of made a batch of songs. We're like, all right, that's kind of it, you know?
Right. So you guys feel like this is a record that we can hear maybe this year, maybe for next year? Because you guys seem like you guys are working quick.
Oh, it's good. It's good. Yeah. We're challenging our release model. That's all. Yeah. Right. We're just kind of like dripping stuff out over time. Yeah.
Right. You guys have been fortunate to remain with Columbia for the since 2015, I want to say.
Yeah.
What has it been like, working with a label like Columbia, especially in when you're out on tour that you guys have been doing a lot lately?
I think we're very grateful for their patience. They've been so cool, and they signed us as an act that really didn't have a lot of clout or anything. We weren't buzzing. We didn't have a hit song or anything like that. They believed in like the spirit of these kids just playing their instruments, and we're really grateful for that because they've allowed us to grow at our own pace, and they didn't put us through a machine or try to make things happen too quickly. And I think we're where we are today because of that. We've grown very slowly and steadily.
Columbia's like developed our band, and we're really grateful for the people at our label.
Like family. Yeah.
Right.
It's cool.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. I know you guys got a sound check. I look forward to new music, and if you guys work with Tim again, you got to just tell him anyways. Sugar
Tim will
Cult,
come
please.
tonight. You can talk to him tonight.
Go find him in the crowd.
We might get into a fight, though. That's the problem. All right, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. You guys be sure to check out Coin. New singles out now. It's called Growing Pains, and that's it. Thanks for watching.